Thanks for tuning into the podcast. Listen, I got a lot of seminar dates coming up. I'm doing a lot of traveling. If I'm coming to your area, I'd love to see you. Here's my dates. February 23rd, I'm going to be at Leader Martial Arts in Orlando, Florida. February 25th, Miller Martial Arts doing a joint seminar on combat jiu-jitsu and MMA, the guard for these activities especially. That's going to be in Macon, Georgia, Miller Martial Arts. March 3rd, doing commentary for Summit Fighting Championships. That's pretty exciting, MMA fight. March 17th, I'm at the Brick House Gym in Crossville, Tennessee. March 31st, Southeastern Submission League in Huntsville, Alabama. April the 14th, I'll be at 10th Planet in Rochester, New York with Chris Herzog, my buddy. And April 28th, I'm going to be in Pensacola, Florida. I would love to see you guys, love to get on the mat and roll with you, train with you. If you have any questions, you can find the information for all of those on my Facebook page, facebook.com/brandonmc.ninja. And of course, don't forget about my website, www.brandonmc.ninja. My classes and seminars, $5 a month. Also, the joint project I'm doing with Cole Miller, UFC veteran, www.themmaschool.com. Everything you need to know, striking, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, all of it. We are live! BMAX Audio Adventure. We're back. I hadn't done one in a long time. I'm joined by one of my favorite humans in the whole world, Matt Skaff. And you haven't been on the show. We haven't even done a show since you got your black belt.
Oh, man, yeah.
So, congratulations.
Thanks. It's cool to get congratulated again.
And so, if you're listening, you need to send Matt Skaff a message on the Facebook, or you can slide in his DMs on IG.
Yeah, either one's fine.
And say, hey, bro, congrats on the black belt. You don't have to say bro if you're not like a bro sayer.
Yeah,
you don't
but
have to do that.
I prefer bro, so.
I know you do. You prefer bro or bros? You prefer bros.
No, I prefer lots of bros.
Also joined by the man himself, our audio engineer, Scuba Steve.
What's up, y'all?
You can't find him on social media because he's hiding from people because he's scared of.
I'm creating that scarcity, man.
You're afraid that Facebook is taking over your brain.
It's influencing me in a negative way. It has.
Well,
But it's just me. It's the way I was doing it.
That's good to recognize that and to shut it off.
It's good self-awareness.
That was my personal use thereof. Not for everyone, but it was just
good self-awareness. Yeah. But I think you're weak in the heart.
Yeah, I'll be stronger one day and I'll get back in the game.
All right, so here's what's going to happen. If you are watching and you would like to join us and talk EBI 15, I'm going to monitor the comments. So join us. We got it playing on the big screen here. We're going to kind of watch it and just talk about what happened. Of course, it happened last night. If you haven't seen it yet, you need to go away right now because spoilers are on the way. So I'm going to share this to our group. Skaff, while I share this, why don't you talk to us a little bit about the black belt situation?
Oh, man.
Just wax poetic for us.
You know, when I first started jiu-jitsu, it takes a long time to get a black belt. It's really hard. I thought about starting a GoFundMe. I instead went the other route and got a job and raised the money and finally paid for it.
That's good.
But in all seriousness, it's really, I guess, a surreal feeling, you know. I don't even know if surreal is the right word. It's, you know, when I first started, I was at a school where you couldn't get belts. And so I knew that, you know, I mean, I think anybody that's ever watched a karate movie wanted to become a black belt in something one day. And so, you know, naturally when you find out there's belts in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you want to get one. And so, you know, I'd kind of set this goal to get my black belt before I turned. I definitely wanted it before I was 30 back then, but then I kind of got it I wanted to get it when I was 27. And so I did that. I got it. And, I got it from Brandon and Master Eddie and Sensei Brandon.
That's right. That's right.
Bad.
You have to call me Sensei now.
And so, I don't know. You know, I think it's different for everybody, you know, the journey. And, I mean, I still train the exact same. I didn't get any better from it. I definitely didn't get any more confidence from it.
That would be literally impossible.
And so, I don't know. You know, it's been really cool. And so I think my biggest takeaways from the black belt, or at least for mine, it was a lot more about growing as a human and as a person, and I definitely did that. I definitely am much happier with who I am today than I did before I started jiu-jitsu, and so I think that's ultimately the most important part. So there we go.
Awesome. Oh, we've just gotten a comment from Keith Kavanagh.
Kavanagh.
Kavanagh. I can't say it. He's our little Irish fella. Our little Irish man. He was just here, and we smashed his head for... How long did you smash his head? How long did we smash his head? Full week? 2 weeks?
Nah, he was down with Sean getting his legs.
Yeah, Sean broke his legs, and then we smashed his head.
Yeah.
You actually choked him. I don't think I choked him even one time. I just literally smashed his head. Yeah.
That's pretty typical treatment.
Yeah, that's the way it goes here.
Yeah. Fire and ice, man.
Fire and ice.
Yeah.
I bet those are the 2 words that I sound the most like a redneck when I say.
Fire and
Let's
ice.
just try it. Fire and ice. I'm the only person in the whole world that
A book of fire and ice.
the word ice has 2 syllables.
Ice.
Ice.
Yeah.
Fire and ice. Keith said, how'd it feel when you got your black belt, then remembered you're still terrible, but not as terrible as Brandon?
Oh, man.
That's a good question.
That's what it is. I don't know. I think you do know that you're pretty good when people only talk about how terrible you are. That's at least one consolation, because I'll just get like, man, Skaff got it. He's terrible. It's like, man, either you're just terrible or you're doing okay.
Yeah, I would think generally that's a sign that you're doing really good.
Yeah, I guess. Again, or you got a bunch of bad friends.
And Keith says, you choked me by smashing my head somehow. It must have been that fat man jiu-jitsu. That's right. That's what I'm trying to do. You just need to get your neck out of the way. I don't know if, for those over there listening, you're not able to see the glory, but I decided to wear my gi tonight for the podcast because it was really cold. And I'm starting to get a little warmer. I may have to go no-gi here in just a second. I'll do the podcast. I go both ways. I can do whatevs. Let's talk about EBI. I'm pretty excited. I was really excited for this EBI, but it did kind of sneak up on me, though. I was ultra excited about the rematch between Gio and Eddie Cummings. Gio Martinez, Eddie Cummings. But, alas, we were not gifted this.
Fate had another.
Fate had something else in mind. Oh, sweet, sweet, cruel fate.
So let's first start with...
let's start with Eddie Cummings.
I was going to say, let's start with, first of all, his interview going into EBI.
Oh, okay.
That everyone was talking about,
Yes.
There's some controversy. Some guys thought it was like, what'd you think about that?
I thought it made sense. I didn't think it was... So Eddie thought it, or not Eddie, but like the 10WO. Like there was some dudes who were like, well, he's kind of salty. He sounds kind of like mad that he lost, and he's kind of, I don't know, not making excuses, but I guess just irritated about the way it went down because he didn't like the overtimes. So it did kind of seem like, I don't know. I don't know him, so I haven't heard him talk a lot, just in interviews and stuff. But like he made his bread off of EBI. You know what I mean? Like he made all those guys, they made their name on EBI, and of course, like went on to have their name in like Abu Dhabi history and stuff like that. So, not to say that's the only thing they've done, but that is where they all started. Tonin, Gordon, Cummings, all those guys, they started right there. And so I don't know, for him to criticize the event like brazenly, I thought was a little bit. I didn't think disrespectful. I was just kind of like,
A little childish, maybe.
Just a little. It did seem a little bit salty, but the thing was, I understand what he's saying though.
Well,
I don't necessarily disagree.
In fairness, I remember Eddie Cummings has always said that he preferred, and all those guys say, we prefer no time limit submission only. And I've heard Eddie Cummings say, even in past EBI events, I don't know, I mean, I remember this, and you know me, I remember these things for some reason. But, he said, like, he doesn't like training overtimes. He's never liked training overtimes. It's like you said, I say the same stuff. It's very hard on your body to train the overtimes, and I've heard a lot of guys kind of scoff at that, I'm like, no, like getting for an arm lock for an hour, if you're training like that, just like getting an arm lock, I mean, that's very taxing on your body compared to regular jiu-jitsu. So I'm 100% agree with that. Like you said, though, it was a little, I personally would never, no matter my feelings at an event, I would never kind of criticize the rules of the event I was going to, and especially if I, was the returning champ of the event. Even in that weight class. I mean, that's just not my style. Again, I thought it was a little salty.
Criticizing the rules for any tournament that I'm going into or just competed at, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, if I don't like the rules, I just won't do it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to get heel hooked a bunch right now. I'm older. My knees have had a bunch of surgeries. My ankle's broke on the other leg. I don't want to get heel hooked a bunch. I probably won't be entering you don't go, the EBI qualifiers. Yeah. Probably not going to do it.
And then complain when you get heel hooked.
And then get, or whatever, But, yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't want to, and I don't want to be the dude who complains about IBJJF. I'm not going to be complaining about that. I like sub only. Well, I got the IBJJF, lost by an advantage. That's what you signed up for. Mm-hmm. So I never like to hear that from anybody. Now, having said all that, again, I understand his criticisms. I understand them. It does seem like some people game the system to try to reach for overtime. Mm-hmm. It does seem like that. Mm-hmm. And even some guys have even said, that's what, tell us. Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to I'm just going to stay alive. I'm going to win the whole thing on defense and not make any money. He just wanted to win the tournament. And I think that's okay. If that's the rule set, people are always going to do that. So I think you just got to be okay with that coming in,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think done
with the gi, warm enough.
I think a lot of the issue is like you said, it happens anytime somebody loses, and especially in a way that Cummings lost. He kind of lost on that last second 3-pointer. He kind of lost on that,
it was a heartbreaking loss for him. It had to have been.
Yeah, and again, I've heard everything from Gio was a defensive master to Cummings dominated to whatever, like you said.
I think both those things are true, by the way.
And in history books, again, all we're going to see 10 years from now is, if EBI becomes the big, this huge event, there's hundreds of thousands of dollars at stake. People are going to see Gio Martinez's name, And when you have a legacy you're trying to build, I think, again, it hurts that much,
Yeah, that much more.
He still is, in my opinion, the most terrifying grappler in the world.
Yeah.
But, he's got a loss on his resume now.
Other than the Tonin loss.
Yeah.
Which was controversial, to say the least, in my opinion.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that was a work.
Yes, a lot of people do think that was a work. I didn't think it was.
I didn't think it was work, but it certainly wasn't a let's go after it. You know what I'm saying? They might have rolled the way me and you would roll in the gym. Like, we're going to have a hard one in the gym.
Yeah.
But I ain't going to break your arm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we're going to find out. Today's the day we roll hard. Yeah, but I'm not going to heel hook you until you pop. You know what I mean? I'm just not going to. And you're not going to do me that way. So that's the kind of role I felt like they had.
Okay.
So, who won? I don't think they planned ahead of time. But they weren't going to try to hurt each other either.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
that's the way it looked to me.
Yeah. And, they're teammates. I can understand that. But,
John Buck says you're soft.
Okay.
John Buck says, Keith, shut your turd mouth. Skaff is soft.
Harden up, Skaff.
I look pretty soft today.
It's the color palette.
I have no responses.
It's the pastels.
It is, we're so, not just me, we're so soft in about everything we do besides on the mats.
I'll be honest with you, I'm basically a woman at this point. Like, I'm scared of everything.
Yeah.
I don't like to be dirty.
Yeah.
I like girly music. And I can't do any man stuff. I can't fix stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about guns or cars.
Yeah.
I just thank God I just was stubborn enough to get good at jiu-jitsu so I can pretend to be a man in some circles.
Yeah. No. In most circles, I mean, I think if you can check mark, like, hey, we have a civilization, you know, like everything goes wrong. We need 100 people. We need warriors. Like, you do need at least...
but I don't know if I made that team either.
No, I'm not talking about for Team USA. I'm just talking about for Team North Alabama.
Stay alive.
Team North Alabama. Like, you know, we're on Team North Alabama, dude.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm a real warrior or not. I think I'm just like a tricked everybody. That's what I did. It's just it's a scam.
Well, I'll let you. You can go fend for yourself off, and I'll be one of the warriors that
gets killed on the front lines.
No,
I'm hiding in the back.
No. Well, I'm saying you're going to be dead. They're only accepting 100 people. All they're going to take are like, oh, you can. We need 50 men. We need some builders. But you also need some warriors in there. Those are like the two most important things.
Do y'all need anybody to like be sarcastic or anything like that?
We do need a leader, though.
Brandon, moral support.
I can do that.
That's what I'm saying.
I can do that.
You're a leader of men.
I can talk real good.
Yeah. That's a good point. And you have a king's physique.
Keith says Brandon can set up the Warriors' websites.
The Warriors web.
Oh, you mean like www.brandonmc.ninja or www.themmaschool.com with myself and Cole Miller? Only $20 a month for all the MMA instruction you need. Too? What do you know? Huh.
I wouldn't know because I haven't looked at either one.
Keith says something. Let me see what he says. One of my guys experienced the belly and then asked, how did you get that sort of pressure? And I just stared at him for 10 minutes until he decided I was weird and left me alone. That's the way I do it too, Keith. That's generally my answer.
Yeah.
It's a better answer than trying to actually explain. Oh, you just kind of lay there.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a very good
jiu-jitsu answer. Lay to the corner, Keith. Lay to the corners.
Put your weight on a lever. So I say the same three things.
Yeah.
That's my answer to everything.
Yeah.
Kind of ridiculous. Hey, you want to talk about EBI?
Let's do it.
All right.
All right, so we find out that John Calliston's entering EBI because Cummings gets the flu. All right. Your initial thoughts when that happens, right before we get into the tournament?
I was of two minds. I was bummed that Cummings was not in because I'm a big Eddie Cummings fan. Okay. Big Eddie Cummings fan. But I might be even bigger John Calliston fan, to be honest with you. There's something about him that's like his little bulldog persona just fires me up. I love watching him. And I'll just burp, sorry. Let's be honest. He's just as scary as Eddie Cummings. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think Cummings has a bigger game, probably. And he's like made efforts to show the bigger game, like to try to play the back and try to get to some arm locks and stuff like that. But Calliston, he is of a one-track mind, it seems like. And that track that he's on is very, 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 very high level.
If his finishing ability and the inside, or in the leg lock game, specifically that inside heel hook is just phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, he's second to one.
Yeah.
You know, he's second to Eddie Cummings only.
And that's his master.
Yeah. And they train in the same room every day. Dear God, could you imagine having to be on that floor Monday through Thursday? Just going to train.
Yeah. Hey, guys.
Hey, guys, it's me, Rando Blue Belt. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I would want to train there. If I was learning jiu-jitsu, I'd be so scared of those dudes. Man, this match right here, so Davila, I thought he had this heel hook several times. I thought he hurt Lima a couple of times, the way he was being under. This is actually the fourth match of the first round that we're watching right now. Mike Davila. I always say Davila. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I apologize if that's not correct. It might be Davila. I'm sorry.
I say Davila.
Davila. We'll go with Davila. Mike Davila. Can we say it like Portuguese-ish like that? Davila. But he was, the way he was spinning underneath in 50-50 to expose the heel, so he would Granby underneath and expose it. It was really beautiful work. Mm-hmm. He had an awesome tournament. Yeah, let's start at the top, though. Let's go back to Cummings.
Okay.
To Calliston stepping in. What did you think coming in?
I mean, you know, I've seen Calliston a lot. I knew what to expect. I thought it was just a notch below Eddie Cummings. Again, I think Eddie's obviously better, and I'm sure he would say that, and everybody that's in that room would say that. But I think you're getting one of the top. I mean, I've been all along like, man, you got to put this guy in because he's one of these 6. I just think EBI. Look, I get it, team affiliations, all this stuff, but I want to see the 16 scariest 145ers. I don't care, unless we're just getting blatant matches that are just not happening or anything like that. But I want to see the 16 scariest 145ers, whether that's Hoffa Mendez wanting to jump in, Cobrinha.
I really wish those guys would jump in.
Yeah, but they're not, I
don't understand it.
And so, but again, I want to see, I wanted to see Ethan in it, man.
Krellinston?
Yeah, I wanted to see Krellinston.
Now, he's my favorite of the whole bunch.
And I wanted to see, I just don't
As
see
a
how
grappler,
you can have
I don't know any
I don't
of them.
see how you can have a 145 tournament and not have you weren't going to have
brown belt world
Calston
champion
or Ethan in it. Both those twos aren't in it, and you're telling me
because Cummings was in though.
I know. I'm just saying. Well, hey, as we find out, they're not on the same team anymore.
That's interesting. Yeah, I saw that. You sent me that post today that Donaher made. Read it. Won't you pull it up and read it? Hold on. Actually, I got it right here. Sorry. This is... Here we go. This is what John Donaher had to say today. Great performance last night by Jonathan Calliston. He didn't say Mr. Jonathan Calliston.
He's not part of the team no more.
Dang, he don't get called Mr. He lost the spetch. Great performance last night by Jonathan Calliston to win EBI 15 in the featherweight division in his debut performance. Mr. Calliston replaced his main teacher, Eddie Cummings, on short notice after Mr. Cummings came down with flu during the week. Mr. Calliston was a regular training partner and apprentice in the squad, but left with Eddie Cummings due to concerns about training next to teammates who either did or could potentially compete against them in the same weight classes. It's always a tricky thing to deal with this problem. Some athletes, such as Gary Tonin and Gordon Ryan, are fine with the idea of training with people that they will compete against. Others, such as Eddie Cummings and Jonathan Calliston, feel awkward about it. As a coach, I respect and I understand that. We still think of them as alumni from the same team and carrying the torch of our approach to the game. Mr. Calliston's strong leg-locking pedigree was very much in evidence last night as he quickly heel-hooked his first 3 opponents in regulation and then won the final against 10th Planet's standout Gio Martinez in overtime to take a great win. Great to see his success as a student and Mr. Cummings' success as a mentor. There are a bunch of other athletes emerging in the squad who can do similar things in future EBIs in various weight categories. This should make for great shows as the seniors go in new directions in the future. So that alludes to a couple of different things. First of all, we confirm that it was the flu.
Yes.
It's not like some conspiracy theory or something, unless he's in on it. Just kidding. Clearly it was the flu. It's like the word. Some people were like, they're just making the play to get Calliston in, which doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
It's literally the worst flu season that we've had since I was like a teenager, which was over 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's weird that somebody got the flu.
You're cutting weight. You're in New York, and it's like the worst flu season. I mean,
yeah, come on, man.
Yeah,
of course he got the flu. So the next thing, something that has been rumored for a long time. Most people knew it if they were on the inside of the grappling world. I don't know if that's even a thing. Yeah. But most people probably knew it. There's never been anything official, I guess, that Cummings was no longer with the main squad there at Henzo's. So he's not training underneath Donaher and with and alongside those guys in the DDS anymore. I did not know that was the case with Calliston, actually.
Yes,
I knew that he trained with Cummings mostly, but I didn't know that he had also officially stepped out.
Yeah.
So that was interesting to me. Is Matt Kaplan, he's over there with them?
He's over there with them.
So they're all there together?
Yeah, there's quite a few,
else is over
I
there?
think. I don't want to say exactly because I don't know the whole situation.
Gotcha.
I know that there's 1 or 2 that are training in between a little bit. But there are definitely a couple guys left, from my understanding, and obviously the 2 biggest being John and Eddie. So,
So what constitutes the DDS? Is it just people who are under the Henzo flag in that area?
No. So this is
because
how
like
I take it.
TriStar, Krellinston is TriStar.
Yes, he represents TriStar. Like, he is part of the DDS, but my understanding is it's more like this, that if I'm just also, like, this is just me talking, and how I look at the DDS. This might be completely wrong, so take that.
I hope it is.
worth.
Here's what I really hope, that you say something super stupid and controversial, and it goes on BJJ Eastern Europe.
Well, as long as Donner's like... yeah, well, anyway.
New
So,
10th Planet Black Belt
we have
hates
Donner here at the
DDS.
top, okay? And so anybody in the DDS is in his tree of mentors. He talks about
see.
everything. So, like, if now you see Eddie Cummings and John Cal, they're not in the tree anymore. So, I think there's a few guys, like...
But he said he still considers them part of the family, part of the squad.
Yeah, because they're Henzo guys. I mean, they're Henzo guys, so they're still part of
They're like homies like this.
Yeah,
like pound it like that.
Yeah, well, and also when they do well, you can go, hey.
Yeah, you know where you got that stuff from.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, again, I think it's just anybody that, you have Don here up here, and then you have the couple of guys. It was Eddie, Gordon, and Tonin. And then they each had their little apprentices, and then when you build your way up, you get closer to Don here. And so I think that's really the DDS. It's kind of their trademark, is they have this mentor apprentice kind of deal going on. And I think if you're just in that, and you have that relationship with those guys, then you're part of the DDS.
Okay, fair enough. So
like Jake Shields is part of the DDS because he's Don Here's student. He goes and trains.
How long? What is that? Because he's a Caesar Gracie forever. I wonder when that happened. Did he just move to New York, or did he move out there to train with them, or is he just training with them every now and then, or is he in the room?
Yeah, he's in the room.
Man.
Yeah, Jake Shields is in the
room. He
room.
got tore down by Craig Jones.
Yeah, he did.
Craig Jones.
Not Steven's a big Craig Jones fan.
I think everyone's a big, like, if you're not a big Craig Jones fan.
There's not a lot of people out there who are a bigger Craig Jones fan than Steven, though. He's got a crush.
You hear he's just the coolest guy, and he's Australian, and he's jacked, super good at jiu-jitsu, and does heel hooks. And
he seems cool.
What's he like?
He seems funny. Yeah. I really like Kit Dale, man. He makes the best ads on Facebook.
Oh man.
His ads are the best.
Oh man, yeah.
I'm trying to up my game to Kit Dale's ad level. I'm gonna do it. I gotta let him a little more of the personality out.
Yeah, you do, man, because he's all the way out.
I know. He's doing good.
Yeah, he is, man. He's
happy
hilarious.
for that guy. I don't know him at all, but he's doing it right.
And so,
shoot, Dusty Hallbrooks is watching. Dusty, we thought you died. I'll be honest with you.
What up, Dusty?
Dusty, please come back.
And so then our first match,
Calistine.
Find out Calistine's in, and he's fighting
Edward
Junie.
Ocasio.
Or Junie.
Junie, they call him Junie?
Yep, his name is Junie. That's what I didn't know his first name. Everybody had called him Junie. Out of Purple Belt, out of Unity. But he was in the 8-man Kazai. Looked awesome in it. And that was one of the best tournaments I think that happened. Of talent pool.
Yeah.
That was the one with...
The Kasai Pro.
Yes, that was the one with Tonin and AJ and Enrico. But he had won his way. He was an 8, and he looked like he belonged. He did awesome out there. So, beast purple belt. He's been in some finishers. He's super exciting. And, John, he'll lift him real quick.
Well, it wasn't like in a minute or anything like that. I think it was something like 3 minutes, yeah.
Pretty quick.
Man, that's... Yeah, well, it's not as quick as he would have heel hooked me.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, when you're talking about those guys, it's like, well, did you last more than 2 minutes? Then
well, not so bad.
Yeah.
Good job. So Calistine advances.
Yeah.
In very bulldoggy fashion.
Yeah.
He's a real bulldog.
He's the bulldog, dude.
Yeah, that's what his name should be.
Yeah.
And everybody else that's named the bulldog should have to stop calling themselves the bulldog.
Yeah.
He's the bulldog.
Yeah.
He's not a bulldog.
Yeah.
He's the bulldog.
Yeah.
Definite article.
Yeah.
Jason Hayden, Juan Rosales.
One of the best matches, one of my, I think, top 3 or 4 matches of the tournament. Mm-hmm.
I didn't care that much about it.
Really?
It didn't excite me.
Thought there was a lot of exchanges. I thought both guys looked very competent. At the legs, obviously, Jason Hayden, I was... what's his name? Juan had...
Hayden was my dark horse. Yeah. He was the one dude in the bracket where I looked and I went, Man, he could win the thing. Like it could play out to where he could win it. So I thought I thought that was a possibility. Go ahead.
But he had what's his name in the corner, Wagner Rocha. So
yeah, Rosales did.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a great. I thought it was a great match. Hayden wins in OT.
What if Rosales would have, when he lost? What if Rocha would have just come out there and slapped him across his face? Or if he'd have came out there and slapped Jason Hayden to avenge his student?
We were talking about that warrior thing. If there was a world like, hey, there's only 100 people, we need 20 warriors, Wagner Rocha is one of the 20.
He's in the 20.
Yeah, he is.
That dude's an insane person.
He's.
I love him. I don't know him, but I love him. Joao Tavares.
Okay.
John Battle. John Battle, I'm actually a fan of. I've only met him like once or twice, but I love watching. He is so impossible to leg lock, dude. His legs bend in every direction. He never acts stressed out about it. So I've seen him in a bunch of the finishers tournaments, and then he's competing up and down the East Coast all the time, man. So I was excited to see him get in there and go after it, and then he beat Tavares.
And you don't want to say this, but when you see Brazilian, he's a black belt, he's going to get leg locked. I mean, you just think that at this point, right? You think
Sorta, yeah. I mean, like I just realized today.
East Coast guy versus Brazilian black belt. What's your first thought? You don't know how the match goes, but what do you think?
Man, he better watch his feet. He better have something special. Now, of course, that's a pretty general, like we're sweeping and painting with a very broad brush there, because Felipe Pena is Brazilian, and he's a black belt, and he ain't getting leg locked.
Yeah. He's not.
Gordon Ryan ain't doing it. Ain't nobody leg locking him. You think Eddie Cummings could leg lock him?
Yeah, I do.
You think Eddie Cummings could leg lock Felipe Pena?
I mean, I think if anybody could. I mean, Eddie Cummings is the highest.
You think he's got a better chance
expression.
than Gordon Ryan?
I do.
You're a crazy person.
No, I don't think so.
I think Felipe Pena might squish him like this.
Felipe Pena is, he's huge.
Yeah, you never see a picture like Shaq holding a basketball?
Yeah.
How it looks like a grapefruit in his hand? That's what Pena would do to Eddie Cummings. He would grab him and crush him like he's crushing a Coke can. like one of those frat boys that just crushes a beer can on his head. That's what he would do to Eddie Cummings.
Yeah, well...
I'm just kidding. Cummings might leg lock him.
He might, man. I mean, but John Battle wins counter leg lock, counter outside heel hook.
Yeah, Battle... I thought he did really, really well.
Yeah.
Thought he looked really good.
Said very calm, caught the counter, hit the heel hook.
Rodrigo Lima, Mike Davila.
Yeah.
Davila wins, heel hook from 50-50. I thought Mike Davila looked awesome. Awesome.
I love his game, man. Yep. He can pass, he can sweep, he's got leg locks, he's got a very complete game. He can hit arm locks.
And his leg locks, it's obvious when he's doing them that he has a lot more game than leg locks. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't, and maybe this is bad, but he doesn't look as sold out on his leg game as like say the DDS guys do, or somebody like Battle looks sold out on the legs. Like I'm doing the legs, and that's what we're going to do. Or Calistine.
Yes.
You know, and you even heard people criticizing Calistine from the I couldn't tell who it was, but you could hear him criticizing from the stands in the final match. He's a one-trick pony, or he only does one thing, or whatever. I heard it said a bunch of times, and you even see Calistine kind of look up and acknowledge it a few times, like, "All right."
Yeah.
You just saw him look over the corner. He's like, "I heard you." I thought that was pretty intense. He bulldogged the sideline. I think it's a fair statement. I don't know if it's even a criticism at all. But I think it's a fair statement. I'm sure he can do other things, but his game plan is very clearly, I'm going to the legs. So I understand why people would say that. Probably a little bit rude to do.
Yeah.
But, so I don't know that I would necessarily want people screaming that if I was Calistine. So I understand if he got mad. But
yeah.
Anyway, Davila doesn't appear to be sold out. That was my point. Or not as sold out on the legs. Very well-rounded game. Next side of the bracket, Gio Martinez, Pablo Alfonso. Thought Gio did pretty well. Thought Alfonso made a pretty decent accounting of himself there, though. Gio ended up finishing him with a a ham sandwich, right? He finished him with that calf slicer, the ham sandwich. I was really happy to see that. I've been playing the ham sandwich a lot. Chris Herzog just did that. Like his whole seminar was on that in Boulder. Yeah. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's beautiful finish. Beautiful.
Yeah, you don't see that kind of finish very often, especially at the black belt level or at that level.
Well, Gio's probably the highest expression in the world in that move. I mean, I don't.
He's
know.
really good.
Yeah, that's like one of his moves.
Yeah.
And so you don't know too many guys that specialize in. I mean, that you could say that like that's one of their 5 moves that he could hit in EBI. You know,
dude, Gio's really good, and it came out after the fact. Apparently, Gio had some sort of stomach virus or something. He was puking between every match.
I think he said he didn't know if it was his food that he had ate that day because he had tried some different food, or if it was
Why?
I don't know. That's just what he said. I don't know. I'm just saying what he said. Or if he had the stomach flu. He wasn't sure if it was like food poisoning or a stomach flu. I'm guessing like it would have been food poisoning because, I mean, if you had the stomach flu, it wouldn't just be like that's not really a one-day thing, right?
Can be.
Can it?
Oh, yeah.
I just hear the word flu, and I always am thinking 4 days.
Well, like a stomach virus kind of thing. Yeah, sometimes, dude. 10 hours, man. You just puke it all up.
Yeah, but he said he couldn't hold anything down. I mean,
that sucks, man.
Yeah.
Kind of like Jordan in the flu game. What if he'd have won, and then we'd have found out he had the flu? That would have been dope.
Yeah, it would have been. He almost did.
he almost did it. Johnny Buck says audio sucks on the split screen. Get it together, Steven. I don't know what that means. Please elaborate.
Is my directing bad? Like too many switches of the shot? Or
I don't know.
The audio is not good.
You said audio.
Jarrell Garcia says, I was excited to see Calcine finally get a shot as more people didn't know his name, but he's a killer. Beat Ethan twice, I believe. Talking about Krellinston. It's true. Watched it with my own eyes.
2-1. They were 2-1 against each other.
And he said there's a junior and senior DDS squad, which, yeah, definitely. Knew about that. All right, next match was Sergio Hernandez versus Ashley Williams. Sergio Hernandez has some of the weirdest jiu-jitsu on planet Earth.
I'm kind of over Sergio.
You done with it?
I'm done with seeing Sergio. I mean, I don't want to see Sergio again. I mean, no offense, but I'm just being honest.
You've seen the way how he approaches this.
Yeah.
What was that his 3rd or 4th time in the tournament?
Yeah, I've seen it. I don't know. That's my thoughts on it. I
like it just because it's weird. It's very unusual. I think that's cool to have all right, he's the weird guy in this one. His jiu-jitsu, it doesn't really bear any semblance to, or like when Danaher was on Rogan, to his 4-step formula of jiu-jitsu, like getting past the dangerous legs and moving through a series of a hierarchy of pins, and all that. It doesn't seem like Sergio does any of that.
I think one of the issues with EBI, and as you're trying to do your own tournament, right, is finding guys. Dude,
it's impossible.
Impossible. Because it's like Sergio, I want to say, man, like after I've seen a guy 4 or 5 times and I don't feel like they've evolved, they're kind of doing the same thing and it's not working, And again, Sergio, he's a great black belt, phenomenal black belt. Not saying that. I'm just saying that he's been in 4 or 5 EBIs. He's kind of done the same thing. He's trying to play rubber side. He's trying to, all this stuff. I don't know. I just, again, it hasn't. I just haven't enjoyed watching his matches, honestly. His first one with Jeff Glover was awesome. Was very interesting.
That one was crazy.
But then,
why can't let's get Jeff Glover back in there, dude?
But, anyways, yeah, Ashley wins by OT, right?
No, he beat him in regulation. Didn't he heel hook him?
I think he did heel hook him.
Yeah, I think he heel hooked him.
Yeah,
in regulation. Pretty sure that's right. I'm going to have to go back and check. But Ashley Williams wins. That kid looks awesome. He looks really
I'm a big fan. Good. I was really wanting to see him versus Gio in the second round, which we got it.
Yep. Okay, so then we go to the next match. This is the one that's on the screen now.
Weirdest match of the tournament.
I liked this match a lot,
It was just weird.
People were criticizing Elias Anderson, and Kevin Burbert. I don't know. People criticized him in his match against. Remember, he's the guy that fought Denny in the.
Oh yeah, I was criticizing that match. So I will say that I thought this match was very fun to watch, though.
I loved this. I think Kevin's guard is just awesome.
Kevin had two of the coolest arm and choke entries I've ever seen.
Where he was coming
the first
in.
one, I don't know how he didn't finish.
It was the same entry both times, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I thought his guard was just unbelievable. It's very relaxed, very chill. And then Anderson, dude, how impossible is he to submit? So I've rolled with both of these guys a couple of times.
Oh, really?
Right? And I've rolled with Kevin quite a few times over the years, trained with him several times. And, man, he is hard to even get a position on, much less to submit. Like, once you do get there, dude, that is crazy. Look at that setup to the Darce.
I thought he had it. I mean, he's got
You know
one.
what? He was finishing flat on his back. I think that's his problem right there. So he's bringing his knees to his face and trying to finish flat on his back.
Isn't that how Boogie showed?
Yeah.
That's how he says his knees to the face and just like that.
I'm a believer in this position that you got to get the guy on his side right there. And I think that was probably where he was the closest to finishing it. That's the kind of play I try to make right there. Man, Anderson is tough. And you talk about hard to finish. I was rolling with him when I went to San Diego. Mm-hmm. And we weren't rolling very hard.
Who, Anderson?
Yeah, with Elias Anderson, who's an incredibly nice, like gentle, kind person. Like he's a really, really nice guy. Like over the top nice. Mm-hmm. So that, when you get to meet somebody and you find out that they're actually cool, that can make you a much bigger fan of them,
of
right?
Course, yeah.
So that definitely happened so I was excited to watch him for that reason. I thought the match was great. But yeah, two crazy Darces from Kevin.
Yeah, I thought it was
couldn't finish them. And then the ending was weird.
Little controversy. What did you think?
I don't know. I think it's an impossible call to get right. I think no matter what he would have picked, it was Master Vic, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think no matter what he would have picked, it was the wrong call. It was just one of those situations.
Because it would have been, of course he gave it to the 10th planet guy.
Yeah.
Or,
So, as bad as it sucks, I would rather EBI err on the side of screwing over the 10th planet guy. I know it sucks for Kevin in this situation. And if I was in Kevin's shoes, I wouldn't want that. I'd be mad. But I do think it's probably the right call just to keep any kind of bias away. Look at Kevin's guard, dude. Mm-hmm. It's nonstop. He's scary at every place.
Yeah, he's good, man. So, I thought it was a great match. Like I said, just weird in the sense of, like, Kevin's got a weird game. Elias is tough. I mean, he had two.
Elias beat, when I was calling Ultimate Mat Warriors in San Diego, Elias had a super fight against Chris Droz. You remember Chris?
I watched that match. Mm-hmm.
And he I thought that was my favorite match of that whole tournament. Mm-hmm. And even though it ended in a escape over, escape times, mm-hmm. I thought that was an awesome match. But Chris Droz and Kevin are teammates. Mm-hmm. So Elias has been training and thinking about that Oceanside style for a little bit, I bet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So knowing that, I would think if you're coming into a tournament like this, you got to prepare for Geo, right?
Oh,
you got to be thinking about, man, I'm probably going to see Geo if I keep advancing.
Train your leg locks and Geo.
Yeah, that's got to be it.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be the only two guys that motivate you to get up early and take a run. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So it was a fascinating match. Elias never really gained a position on Kevin, I wouldn't say. Never really had him in any kind of danger. But, man, his back ride in the overtime was awesome. Mm-hmm. Kevin he was spinning. He was almost out, but Elias had that gift route.
He just had...
He stayed on, though.
I thought he did.
I thought he stayed on. But then he was still on when they reset it. Mm-hmm. So that screwed him potentially, too.
Yes.
Because what if Kevin had this really long ride and ended up winning by 2 or 3 seconds after that? That would have sucked. So, anyway... Elias advances on escape times, right? Is that officially what it was called?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if they called it a sub because Kevin rolled out or something.
No,
they just called time, and that's the way it worked out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then we had in the final match of the first round, Rafael Domingos versus Sergio Perez. Go ahead.
So, Domingos, I was telling Brandon, man, I want to that guy wants to come to every EBI, sign him up, man.
You're not done watching him.
Man, I love his game. He moves like a jungle cat. He's so agile. He's it's just beautiful to watch. Hits a flying triangle.
That was this match, right?
Oh yeah, hits a flying triangle on
that
Sergio Perez.
Was so fast.
Oh man,
Sergio Perez is a G. He trains out of hiatus, man.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he's had 2 tough first round matchups because he was the dude who went up against Gio at EBI 10, right?
Yep.
And in the first round, and Gio took his back and Darce choked him.
Yep.
That was sick.
Yep.
No. He took his back. Yeah, he did Darce choke him, wasn't it?
I'm not sure what he finished him with. I just remember Gio beat him real quick.
He took his back off of the Darce. And I think he just rear naked choked him from there.
Yeah.
I have to go back and watch it. I can't remember. But, man, that triangle that Domingos threw down,
just tossed
it came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere, dude.
Well, I love, he's got really, he tries a lot of foot sweeps. He's had some awesome takedowns in EBI. And so his 2 losses were to Jason Hayden. He lost to Jason Hayden at combat by heel hook. And then he lost to, I believe it was Eddie Cummings really quick by heel hook. So I was wondering, if he had been training his leg locks a lot. And I think it looks like he has been, just because your last 2 real big losses were inside heel hooks.
Mm-hmm. That's everybody's big losses these days.
Yeah, it is. And so, but he flying triangle, real quick, 2 minutes in.
An awesome one too.
Yeah.
Made you like the kind of thing that made you jump out of your seat.
Perfect finish too. He was angled off, had the leg. Holding the shin.
It was awesome. It was an awesome finish. So let's go to round 2 then.
Okay.
Caliston versus Hayden. I personally thought that Hayden could slip up and win the thing. I didn't think he was going to. But man, if you got to put money on a dark horse, that was my guy. And so I thought, you know what, man, he might could survive. This is coming in. I thought he might could survive Cummings' leg game and push him into overtime. And maybe he could win in overtime. And so with Caliston coming in, Caliston not quite as good at legs, but maybe he is. I don't know. Maybe he's even better. Hard to say, I guess.
Yeah.
when you're both literally killing everybody, it's hard to say who's better, right?
Yeah.
But basically the same style of attacking, and Hayden, awesome leg locker. He's a really, really good leg locker. Maybe he can survive and push it into overtime, or even catch somebody on the way out. Nope. Didn't go that way at all.
Yeah, in all honesty, I remember I was telling you, I was like, I didn't give Hayden any chance versus Cummings, and then I really didn't give him any chance versus Caliston. I thought that, the only guy in this whole tournament that I thought could stay out of the leg game of those 2, because again, I think those 2 and Craig Jones are probably the 3 best, maybe Oliver Taza, the 4 best.
Taza's really good leg locker.
Those guys are probably the 4 best leg lockers in the world, and I don't think there's very many people that can stay out of that game for 10 minutes. And survive. And but Gio was like,
Gio's the one dude.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's a handful of them, obviously, but with Felipe Pina, yada yada yada, we could game Toquinho, but there's very few people, and I just
Lucas Lepre.
Yeah, Lucas Lepre, exactly. So yeah, Gio's in that handful though of Gio can survive 10 minutes against.
Proved it.
Mm-hmm. Already proved it, and
twice.
Proved it twice, 100%. And so, but yeah, Hayden, I just knew that he just was going to get caught up in it, and got caught up in it real quick.
He did. He got caught up fast. If you're listening, Hayden, I just remember I believed in you, and Skaff did not. I want you to remember that. Write that down on your mirror, because you're probably going to see him eventually in some bracket. Just write it down.
I wanted to see Hayden.
Matt Skaff, and cross it off.
I wanted to see Hayden versus Gio. I think that would have been a real.
That would have been an awesome match.
An awesome match.
Hayden could have.
I honestly thought this was a bad matchup for Hayden against anybody else. I think. Hayden's a beast, But I just I think Caliston and Cummings are just another level, man.
You are a much closer student of the competition scene than I am. Much closer.
Well, see, everyone was saying
I don't watch enough to have a super informed opinion about the guys who are not on EBI and ADCC. Those are the two.
Hayden beat Caliston at Zapatero down in Florida, and I think he beat him in OT.
Beat him in overtime.
But just after John's finishers run, and then he had done a couple other things, he's on another level.
Yeah, I got to commentate him on it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. His on it run, his and his finishers run. He's another level, and yeah, so.
Yeah,
I thought he was going to finish him, and he did.
He did. He finished him. Then Battle Davila.
Dude, they've had so many matches against each other. I thought it was a toss-up, and Davila just ended up beating. I mean, I've seen them both beat each other.
Yeah, Davila beat him by heel hook, right?
Heel hook, yeah.
Heel hooked him. So two
same
heel
thing,
hooks.
50-50.
Yep.
That good old Granby.
Same move.
Same exact move.
All right, so I thought that was a really good match too. Over to the other side of the bracket, Gio Martinez, Ashley Williams.
It's the match I wanted to see.
Okay.
One of them.
Up until this point, I was like, man, that's as good a match as you're ever going to see at EBI. And at that time in history, that was true, I think.
It was awesome.
I was like right up there with Gio versus Cummings.
It was an awesome match.
I thought it was actually a better match than Gio versus Cummings.
Yes.
But there's been some good ones. Gio versus Jeff Glover was actually a really good match too. But Gio versus Ashley Williams. Ashley Williams, the young stud black belt from the UK. Dude, he gave Gio all he wanted. And Gio had him in some good spots. I don't think Ashley really had any. He didn't really have any subs.
No, he was trying for legs, but again, I mean, Gio's
just about as good as anybody in the world at staying out of the leg game, like you were saying.
Yep.
I've tried to catch Gio in the leg game before. It's like, good luck, dude. Especially my amateur leg locking, you know. But yeah, that was an incredible matchup. It ends up going into the third overtime, right? And it was pretty close going into the third overtime. Looked like Gio was probably ahead in that one, right? Or was he behind?
No. So I think he beat Ashley in the first OT with an arm lock, right?
I can't remember.
And the second time,
I thought he
had that. I thought his first.
I know how the Domingos match went.
Now I'm pretty sure he beat him real quick with an arm lock.
Okay.
Off of
the arm crush.
Yes.
Yeah, he did. You're right.
No. Excuse me. He finished with the rear naked choke off the back, a face crush, because he was playing the single leg. Because I was really shocked. Yeah,
But he lost an arm crush somewhere or something. Didn't he start with an arm bar?
No, he started.
We are the worst.
No. It was. I'm positive.
You don't know nothing.
No, I'm positive.
You don't know.
It was first OT.
You don't even know.
He finished with a face crush.
I'm gonna find it right now.
So
why don't you talk about Elias versus Domingos while I find?
Yeah, it's a little bit of controversy in Elias' second match. Domingos comes out. They have about the 4 or 5 minute mark. Domingos gets a guillotine, transitions to mount, and he taps him. He touches him. And I was telling somebody last night, I mean, I don't ever during rolls go like this to somebody's back. I mean, that signifies a tap. I thought they did a great job, and that was a tap. Elias was on.
I thought it was a tap too.
Especially, I thought Elias was on the benefit of, his first one, obviously, with Kevin. And so, you shouldn't get two like that. I mean, I thought he tapped. To me, it was pretty obvious he tapped. And, yeah.
So, I'm pulling up the Gio versus Ashley Williams final right here.
Yeah, I just remember this because Gio went to a single hook in the first OT. Yeah, right here.
Here it is, right here, first OT. Man, look at me.
Yeah.
That was impressive.
Look at me. He goes to the single hook right here.
Yep.
Boom. And he
right
finishes.
off the bat. Yeah, he does finish this face right. You're right. I like Gio's rash guard, that new phalanx rash guard.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about that.
Like that big phalanx down the side.
And so, yeah, because I just remember being shocked. I was like, man, he had so much success with his arm lock. He goes to the back and finishes. I was like, man, that's how you know you've got an elite OTs.
He choose, yeah. Look how good his back positioning is. It's really perfect there. And, dude, I knew once he got his arms together, dude, nobody can squeeze as hard as Gio, especially at that weight class, dude. Boogie squeezes hard. Gio
at that weight class. I was going to say, I was like, man,
harder than Boogie does. I think his squeeze is.
I've seen Gordon Ryan finish some rear naked chokes.
Man,
oh my god,
yeah.
Dude, he's crushing through the face.
So Williams went to the arm lock in the bottom,
and it looked awesome. I remember, it was a really close attempt. He just ran out of time. I thought it was a really close attempt.
Let's see what he does here. He tries to go to the arm crush, and Gio blocks it. Tries to go to the arm crush, Gio blocks it. Gets to the arm crush. Gio didn't really address it the way I would like to see him address it, honestly. He kind of just was, it looked like he was, I can't tell right there, but it kind of looked like to me in the moment like he was just eating the arm crush a little bit, yeah. But Gio, man, his grip looking strong right there.
all the more impressive when you know that he's throwing up in between matches, you know.
Crazy.
It's not feeling good.
Crazy.
Because, I mean, that's a grueling match with a beast.
Yeah, Ashley Williams is the real deal. You see him jump up, and they both point at each other. That was a really cool moment when they started like showing respect to each other after the match. Cool. I really liked that.
Yeah.
But you could tell it was like that was a heartfelt like oh dude, we just went to war together. Like they shared something together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's pretty
beautiful
interesting.
Moment.
All right, so Elias loses on the weird tap to Rafael Domingos. So then we go John Calistine versus Mike Davila. How much did they train together when Davila?
My understanding, Davila was only training with Donna here once or twice a week. It wasn't like it was. I don't think they trained that much together. Definitely trained together, but it wasn't like how much like somebody like Nikki Ryan has probably trained with Calliston.
Yeah,
I mean they've trained a lot together. And probably like Ethan's trained a lot with. They've trained a lot more together. So.
Just because they're all in the junior squad?
No, just because Mike spent most of his time at...
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, Those guys have trained. I thought you were saying
no. Mike stayed pretty
much.
Mike pretty much stayed with at the Bronx location. So, great grapplers there too, but just a little bit different.
Calistine taps him.
Pretty quick.
Pretty quickly.
Figured. I thought that was going to happen too.
Well, I just didn't... I didn't think anybody was going to stay out of Calistine's leg game after watching the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, man. I don't know if Gio's going to be able to live through it. I was getting nervous, you know what I mean?
Oh, man, he's looking like...
Calistine versus Davila. So Calistine blows Davila out of the water. Then we get what, in my opinion, was the greatest match in EBI history.
Top 3.
This match was so amazing to me. It wasn't as huge of a moment as Gio versus Eddie Cummings, just because of the stage and the magnitude of that win, like what it represented, especially like if you're a 10th planet, dude. That was a huge win, you know. That's weird. It's got like a weird notification on my phone that my UFC Fight Pass was in use on another device. Somebody creeping on me, trying to watch my UFC Fight Pass. Somebody got my password.
Maybe.
I would have said gave it to somebody to watch EBI.
Maybe it was Hurricane Shane.
We better not talk about that. So, yeah, this Gio versus Domingos, I thought it was, as far as entertainment value and, like, drama, as good of a match as you'll ever see.
You know, again, when you find out that Gio's sick, you know, or just throwing up or whatever he had, I don't know, whatever he had, you know, he gets in the first minute some deep water. I mean, how many dudes are quitting? Just going, man, I'm throwing up. I've got excuses.
What happened was Domingos put him into an arm triangle super early on, and Domingos looked like he had a very, very high-level arm triangle.
Oh, yes.
It did not look like a regular black belt's arm triangle. It looked like the kind where he murders people with arm triangles. You know, that may not be true, but he was doing it. It was a different level of play, and it wasn't. The reason I say it is it wasn't your standard stuff, like the way he was positioning his body against the arm and up underneath the shoulder. Man, it looked great, and dude, Gio is such a warrior. I would have died 10 times. Gio survives and gets his back taken and is in real danger of getting choked with the rear naked choker, cranked, or bad things are coming.
He has an out, and he never didn't take it.
No, dude.
You know, how many guys would have taken that? Just, man, I'm throwing up 10 times.
In his mind, he's got to be going,
amazing,
dude,
amazing performance.
This sucks. Because anytime something like that happens, especially in competition, or especially in the training room, actually, but even in competition, something like that happens, you get caught in a deep spot. It's happened to me several times. You go, dude, you can tap. It's okay.
Yeah.
And it is. It's perfectly fine. But that's why I'm not going to be on the top 20 warrior list. You know what I mean? Gio refused to tap. And it's got to be going, dude, you can jump on Instagram when this is over and you can tell everybody you had the flu.
Yeah.
And it'll be okay.
You don't even have to. Eddie Bravo will.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? Like,
Somebody will, just like.
yeah, it'll come out. You had the flu and everything will be okay. You could just prepare next time. Not Gio, dude. Lives through the arm triangle. He went through the valley of the shadow of death on that arm triangle. Lives through the choke. Goes in to overtime. Oh, wait. Before that, then he made a real, legit run at that head and arm choke.
Yep.
And he got to the top.
Remember he got the go-go plotter? Remember all that stuff?
Oh, yeah, that was awful. But that all came from that head and arm,
and
right?
Then he pulled guard, and then he ended up getting. I mean, I don't know how he's got a go-go clinch, and he's just. I mean, I was thinking, man,
he changed it up 3 or 4 times.
I've been in the go-go. I mean, that's one of the worst spots in the game.
Yeah, that choke, that's such an unusual choke. I mean, I'm guessing almost no one probably outside of 10th Planet even has seen that choke. That's a real move in the system. It's one of the most devastating blood chokes that you'll ever find yourself in. It's almost impossible to move around and escape and find an inch once you're there. But Domingos did.
He got out somehow.
Yeah, Domingos had it. He was there. So they go to overtime. And I thought Gio playing that overhook too from his half guard. Mm-hmm. The way he was playing on his, all the way on his side with that overhook in his half, looked really high level. That was I was like, man, that is a 10th Planet guard right there. Clinching and ready to move at the same time. Mm-hmm. Now, that was a very Eddie Bravo, straight out of the playbook, Maybe not exactly the way Eddie would have done it, but just as high of a level. Mm-hmm. So they go to overtime. Gio lost the back really quick in the first overtime against Domingos. He was out quick.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then Domingos got a good ride. And then Gio had a decent attempt in the second overtime.
Yeah, arm lock.
So what happened in the first overtime? No, sorry. I'm wrong. I was about to mix up the Calistan match.
Yeah.
But what happened in the second overtime with Domingos is he goes, Gio has a decent one, Domingos has a better ride.
Yep.
And then it goes, so Gio is on the brink of disaster here because it looks like Domingos would never tap. Mm-hmm. This is what it's starting to look like. Top of the third overtime, Gio goes to his arm lock. He goes to spider web. Arm crush. Goes to the triangle off the arm crush. So he goes back to the thing that beat Cummings at EBI 10. Spider web, arm crush. Oh, look how close Domingos was to tapping right there. How close that arm lock was. Arm crush. So spiderweb, arm crush. Now he goes triangle instead of arm lock. Domingos is in bad trouble. Gio flips him, almost gets the arm lock. Domingos lives. Gio turns the corner and ends up with basically a mounted triangle that exposed the arm lock, and he gets the tap at the top of the third overtime. So now the heat is on Domingos. I almost said Dominguez. I did say Dominguez.
Yeah.
Rafael Domingos. The heat is on, bottom of the third. He has to go to the arm lock, or he has to go tap Gio.
You choose his arm lock.
He picks the arm lock, which is, I think, a great choice when you have to get
it's got a good arm
faster
lock.
Tap.
He was doing back, and again, he was winning the ride time. And
Gio forced his hand.
And Gio, man, hits that. I mean, it's just such a beautiful. I mean, that was as high level as it gets. Gio's third ride. I mean, the arm crush to the triangle to again all that. It was beautiful. So,
dude, that flip that Gio made, that Bollinger flip over that Gio made to get from the bottom of the arm lock to the top of it. That's what did it. Because once he was there, Gio, I'd like to see Gio keep his weight on him a little more, I'll be honest with you. But Gio went to palming his head, and once he did that, I was like, he's getting out.
Yeah.
He's going to get out.
He's a champion, man. This was a champion match. Like championship level match.
Yep.
And
a finalist versus a champ right there.
And Gio showed why he's number one in 10th Planet.
Yeah, without controversy.
Yeah,
there's no...
Yeah, I guess maybe Tony Ferguson. But
I guess.
1 and 1A.
Yeah, Tony's pretty good. Tony's pretty good. Boom. Gio advances. Back-to-back 3-round overtimes.
Yeah.
So even though Gio got the sub, he still had to go the full distance in the overtime. So, oh no, he didn't go back-to-back full distance. Again, he tapped Ashley in the first one. You're right.
Yep.
Okay. Calistine versus Gio.
No, we have the combat jiu-jitsu match.
Oh, I totally forgot.
Yeah,
that was incredible.
Yeah.
Wait, let's finish this and then let's talk combat
okay.
jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I'm going to write down this word. Don't
spell it wrong.
I said Kobat.
Kobat.
I inserted an M. Kobat jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu. All right. Take the reins. Calistine versus Gio. Go.
Gio had just got done with... You just looked at Gio exhausted. All right?
It did not instill confidence in me, I'll be honest with you.
I've been in for... Because the thing was, in Mexico City, Gio and Eddie just killed their people.
Yeah, they went through quick, bang,
bang, you know. And so they both had pretty much been on the mat for the same amount of time. And so this one, though, Gio has been in wars, and Calistine's maybe been on the mat 5 minutes total. And so I was like, man.
Maybe. Yeah.
So I was giving a big edge to Calistine going in, and
I think everybody watching was.
Yes.
Because you could see not despair is not the right word, but the drained stamina on Gio.
Oh, 100%.
Just the way he's walking, shoulders hunched.
He was soaked. I mean, you could just see.
Despondent almost.
Yeah. No, you could see. And that's what I'm saying is like, that's part of the 16-man tournament.
Yeah,
so you've got to win 4 matches. And hey,
grind.
if you have 3, if you Wagner Rocha it and fight Gary Tonin in the final, Gary's got 7 minutes on the mat and you've got an hour.
Yep.
I mean,
that's the way it works.
And that's what he says. Oh, I just beat Gary a couple weeks ago.
And you can't complain about it. You can't complain about it because that's like going back to that rule set thing at the top with Cummings. That's what you signed up for.
Because Wagner was like, well, Gary beat me, but it was really PJ and Nathan Orchard. Because he had those 2
yeah,
and he had even a tough match his first one against that super strong guy.
Yeah,
and I was like, well, that's part of the tournament, man. I mean,
that's what a
you
tournament
finish
is.
Your guys like Gary did.
That's what a tournament is, man.
And so, and that's what that's what happened here. Gio stays out of the leg lock game, and I really just thought in OT just didn't have enough in OT.
I was first of all, obviously, I'm incredibly impressed with Calistine. All the way leading up to the tournament, all the way through the tournament, he looked.
Oh, he's one of the best.
He looked like a god. He looked like a tiny little god.
That's what I'm saying, man. His past year, he's looked like another level. Like when you're inviting the best 145, best 135-pound guys in the world, you got to invite him. He's one of the 16 best dudes in the world.
And he proved invited next time. Yeah, he proved he belonged.
Oh,
wasn't no question.
Yeah.
Right? So, Gio tired. Calistine looking like he looked.
Like a bulldog.
The bulldog.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, man, very nervous for Gio. But I also knew how hard it is to wrap Gio's legs. Mm-hmm. But I was just worried that he was too tired and that he had spent too much. Dude, he didn't look that tired during regulation. Like, he did his thing, He didn't attack. That was the only thing.
I was going to say, I thought it was
he wasn't able to attack.
That was a very conservative effort from Gio. And again, he's just had these wars.
It was the right call.
100%.
It has to be conservative.
It wasn't an exciting match by any means.
Well, not compared to Gio's previous 2 matches or compared to watching Calistine.
That's also very, 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 very true. It looked like a very calculated match. That's all I'll say.
Man, good.
Yeah, no.
Sometimes that's and people will criticize, and it's easy to do from the sideline, right? But I think that's the way you got to win, and that's the way it is in every sport. Like sometimes, dude, you just got to beat a team 6-3.
Was Gio playing for OT? Because and again, it's just,
who cares?
Exactly, that's my thing. But how many just sub players all around just go, well, that guy's just playing for OT. I'm like, there's times where you're just playing for OT. That's all you can do.
That's all you can do is just get to the place where you can win the fight. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, great. 100%. That's the rules, dude.
So,
that's why I never understood the Eddie Cummings criticism, or the Eddie Cummings versus Gio criticism. Like, all he did was survive.
That's all he could
That's
do.
the first rule of jiu-jitsu.
Well, and that's all he could do.
And if he stops if he lets go, like the Gio Cummings, if he lets go of his leg, he dies. He symbolically dies. The fight is over. The tournament's over. Why would he do anything except survive? If you can't survive, you definitely can't escape. He has to survive first, right? And so that's what Gio just stayed out of trouble with Calistan, which I thought that I knew that he would be okay in the leg game if he got there. Like, he might could get tapped here, but probably he's gonna find a way out just because of how he plays. But he didn't even get tangled.
Nope.
That was unreal to me.
Nope.
Because that was as fresh as we were going to see Calistan. Other than seeing him in the first match, but he's had time to warm up. He's ready to rock and roll.
Yeah. He was fresh.
Yeah, he was ready to go. Gio dead. This was the chance that Calistan was going to get. Man, he couldn't tangle him. A lot of criticism from the crowd.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
I thought that was
really
uncalled
stupid.
for.
It's really stupid.
I thought it was uncalled for.
I mean, again, this guy just won 3 matches, and it was very
well. Again,
very,
just if
very,
you can't criticize Gio for getting into overtime to win the match, then you can't criticize Calistan for trying to win the match with his best stuff.
Yeah,
like that's like getting mad at Marcelo for doing arm drags and back takes.
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense to me. So I thought that was an unfair criticism from the sideline, and if I see anybody saying that online, just know I think you're stupid if you say that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So it goes into overtime. Gio, round 1 in overtime, goes arm lock. And Calistan escapes very quickly, like ultra fast, because Gio tried to go arm crush. Calistan was clearly prepared. Like, you could tell him and Cummings have been preparing for Gio's arm crush.
Yep.
You could see it. They've been preparing for Gio's arm crush. And he was gone. He was out super fast. Calistan gets a real good ride on Gio.
Yeah, probably gets minute advantage right off the bat.
Easy.
The second one, he got a big advantage.
That was the big long one.
Yeah, second one was the big long one.
Gio chose, so Calistan rides the back at the bottom of the first. Gio rides the arm, Calistan rides the back. Calistan gets the significantly longer ride. Second round, I thought Gio made the proper strategic decision and went to the back instead of the arm lock. Good call. He got a much better ride.
Yeah, much closer to finishing.
Yeah. But Calistan got a really long ride in the second one. He probably got close to the full 5-minute ride.
He easily got 3.
Yeah.
Easily got 3.
Gio seems to have, and me too, by the way, seems to have some trouble escaping the body triangle. Me too. I wish I had some
his frame is
information
probably
to
very
offer
tough
him.
because of how skinny he is.
I wish I had some better information to offer, like some better criticism, but just like I don't I don't do very well at getting out of it once I'm there either. That's I think why a lot of really good guys don't like the overtimes. It's like, man, why should I have to escape this position? Nobody's putting me here. He could never get,
You're starting with Wagner Ocho on your back, and we've seen his back.
Yeah.
5 minutes. He beat Craig Jones. Craig Jones couldn't.
He couldn't move. He basically couldn't move. Yeah. So Calistan gets a nice long ride in the second round. So we're talking about Gio had trouble escaping. Let's also say Calistan looks like he has an awesome back ride. So he looked like he was ultra prepared for the overtimes. Strong offense, super prepared for the highest level attack that Gio offered him.
We're talking about the Donahue guys and 10th Planet guys. What have they been doing? They're the first people doing EBI. So those guys, Calistan's been doing
and they take
EBI.
it the most serious.
Yes, he's been doing EBI rules with Cummings. He's always been one of Cummings' main training partners. He's been preparing for these for 3 years.
Yeah. So we go to the third overtime. Go ahead. You take it from here.
Yeah. So Gio goes back to arm lock, which I was like, man, you had much better success in the back.
That's my one criticism of Gio's performance. I thought that was a strategic error.
I thought he should stick with the back.
Because it was clear, and again, like, who knows what he's thinking out there. He's in a state of just exhaustion.
Oh, yeah.
And And he might have felt something that we couldn't feel.
Well, and he's got to decide. I mean, he's got to win. He knows he's down. He's got to pick his move.
And you got to go to your move.
He's going to his move, man.
That's a sign of the faith that he had in his own move. But he does. He goes back to the arm lock. And he goes back to the arm crush. Go ahead.
And he got closer this time, but Calliston got out.
Apparently, he ripped Calliston's shoulder out of the socket. That's what Calliston said.
Yeah. I think.
But he has a history of
he said it just
shoulder
popped out.
dislocations.
He told me,
right?
I messaged him and just said, hey, congrats, man. I wanted you to win, obviously.
Yeah.
But I just said, congrats. How's the shoulder? And he said he's fine. He said, it's just
popped
minor.
in and out.
He said it was just he's having that same kind of thing that you were having.
Oh, is it an AC joint?
Yeah, it's just the same type of,
if it's a shoulder dislocate, like the ball dislocates, I've never had that happen. I've never dislocated my shoulder. But my understanding of it is, man, once it dislocates,
it's just
easier. Kind of like my ankle. It just fall out sometimes, just doing weird stuff. So I hope that doesn't become like a...
Hopefully not, man, because, again, he's super talented. It could be, but he said he was... he said he'd be okay, and I mean, I think he's probably pretty happy winning, And,
yeah.
And Gio,
especially if he's okay.
I mean, that's the matches we want to see, That's what I'm saying. I want to see Ethan versus Gio super bad. I mean, it's just I want to see these top level dudes.
I want to see Krellinston in the tournament.
Yeah,
he's my favorite to watch out of the whole squad. Like when I watch what Krellinston does, I go, you know what, I could do that.
Beautiful. It's beautiful jiu-jitsu. It's like watching a dance.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
He has like a jiu-jitsu that's like awe-inspiring.
It is,
to
man.
me. Yeah.
Oh, it's incredible.
Krellinston's a G.
It's incredible, man. And so, yeah, I mean, Gio is phenomenal. Calliston's phenomenal. Domingo's phenomenal. Ashley Williams, great.
One of my favorite EBIs to date.
Oh, man.
The only one that I would say that I liked better was the Absolute, where Gordon beat...
Rustam.
Yeah.
And Yuri.
Yeah, that was a pretty amazing... That whole lineup was just so good.
It was phenomenal. We finally had ADCC champions in there.
Yeah.
Turns
out we had multiple ADCC champions.
I really like Gio. My favorite run was probably when Gio beat Fabio Passos in the final. I loved
that was
run.
the second one.
Second one. That was just a phenomenal... That's one of my favorite performances of all time.
He was flawless.
Oh, man. And you're just like, this is Cobrinha's top black belt and stuff. And he, you still don't know. You haven't seen much of Gio because the only thing he could really do was like Nagas. And
because he wasn't IBJJF.
Well, and there really weren't super fights back then. I mean, it's crazy. Like the super fight scene's just really been on for a couple years. It wasn't like EBI was kind of the first I remember seeing Gio, I mean...
Yeah, I guess on a lot of video.
That's what I'm saying.
But he'd been competing pretty
and
hard.
again, like his name had been there, and everyone goes, Stu guy's black belt in 3 years. But I remember I was like, I'd seen a lot more highlights of Nathan Orchard than I had Gio. And so EBI was kind of Gio's coming, the first one.
For sure.
And then the second one kind of solidified, like, no, this man, like, what can he do? Wins first two EBIs, had beaten Jeff Glover, and then beaten Fabio Passos. Like, man. I mean, I just remember thinking, like,
it's awesome.
Can he go win Abu Dhabi? Can he go, do these things? And
he can get pretty close. It turns out he can get pretty close to winning
fourth.
Abu Dhabi.
And he can get to the semifinals.
That's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
So huge congratulations to John Calliston.
Yeah, huge, man, huge.
A genuinely nice person as well. The couple of times I've had the opportunity to meet him, like at finishers, and then calling his matches there at On It. Nothing but polite and gentlemanly after and before the match. During the match, he looks like a real life serial killer.
He does, man.
And
he does.
And that makes me afraid of him in real life. But it turns out he's pretty nice in real life. So huge congrats to him, and huge congrats to Gio Martinez, one of my very good friends. I'm just super proud to be on the same team as him. And more so after that performance.
A phenomenal performance.
Than after any of his wins, to be honest with you. Like, I think that showed more about who Gio is than any other performance that he's had. He's up one weight class from his true weight class, fighting, turns out, we didn't know at the time, but turns out he's fighting with the flu. digs deep, wins that Dominguez match.
Well, this almost makes it better now because next time we're talking about two guys, Calston and Gio, who are fighting above their weight class.
Yeah.
And so 135 will really be fun to watch next time.
Yeah, that's a great point. Calston's above his weight class, too.
Yeah,
That's good that you mentioned that.
Cause, and so I think that'll be awesome next time, Like,
Yeah.
It'll add a lot more drama to that 135. So, but again, Gio did phenomenal. Everybody, man, again, this tournament wouldn't happen without a lot of these guys stepping up, and especially, I know some people go, man, I feel like it's the same, at least 10 guys every single time. I'm telling you, there's not a lot of high-level dudes trying to do any tournaments, let alone EBI. And as crazy as to some of you that might sound, you just go ask around, hey, we got a $5,000 tournament going, we got a $3,000
Try to
tournament
fill
going.
it. I dare you. So I've tried to do 2 of these.
With
I did one.
With quality talent, not just like, hey, we're going to get white and blue belts together. Just like, hey, I'm going to get local purple to black belts, right? That's what you're trying to do. Mm-hmm. And it's almost impossible.
Yeah. So the River City Pro one, we did the 155-pound bracket, and it was nearly impossible to get a good guy to show up. We did get some good guys to show up. Mm-hmm. I mean, we got some real good guys to show up. Of course, we're in Decatur, Alabama, too, so I get that. But even, like, local black belts and stuff were like, nah. Local brown belts, nah. So most of the guys we put in were purple belts. We had brown and black belts, but
mostly blue and purple.
Mostly blue and purple. Well, it was half and half. It was half and half, counting the brown belts.
Yeah.
Brown and black belt versus everybody else was half and half for our first one. But, dude, we were trying to do one on March 10th for 170. I brought on Josh Leduc, the guy who does Zapatero, to help me do some matchmaking. Because I was like, we'll get some. Yeah. He's got better connections than I do.
Yeah.
Dude, we couldn't. I mean, we found a couple of dudes that were down. Not really. Like, you were down. The guy who.
Jason Rua.
Jason Rua apparently was down.
Mike Carpenter.
He bought his plane ticket already. He was real down. Yeah. I think PJ Barch was down. But now we're talking about a bunch of 10th Planet guys all of a sudden. Yeah. And I want 10th Planet guys in it. I don't want good 10th Planet guys. I'll put 4 in.
Yeah.
Man, let's not put more than 4. But I was about to have to start pulling. And I was like, man, I don't want to do it that way. We found 9 people who would say yes.
And that's going to mean 2 of those are probably back out the week of.
Oh, more than that. We had 4. Or we had 3 backouts at the 155. Yeah. So I just couldn't justify, the spend.
Or just
spending the money
on. The headspace even. I mean, like.
The stress.
It's so stressful. That's what I've always said, because I remember when Brandon's coming to me, I just know, I've been to some of these, I've been to Finishers a couple times, Zapatero a couple times. So, those are some of the cream of the crop tournaments in the country. And I just know how hard it is for them. I talk to those promoters and stuff, and they have people backing out all the time. They've got... Now, Finishers, they have the best pool because they're in that Northeast. They have the best pool to draw from, so theirs isn't as big as an issue, but I especially know, like, Zapatero has
down here in the Southeast, it's hard, man.
Terrible time trying to get guys to do it. I mean, it's very, very tough. 16-man is almost impossible to fill. Almost impossible.
Yeah, and anything less than 16, like you want to do an 8-man, that's not really enough money to make people show up. Mm-hmm. You'd have to start gambling. Mm-hmm. So the way those tournaments work, most of these kind of tournaments, EBI doesn't work this way, but most of these tournaments you pay your entry fee. Like you gamble your entry fee that you're going to win the money back. So like 16 competitors put in $100, then the pot is $1,600. Mm-hmm. 16 competitors put in 125, then the pot is $2,000, and the winner just takes the whole pot. So you basically gamble $125 to win $2,000. $125 says you're the best dude in the room. I love that. I like that better as a format, but man, it's just hard to get. It's not hard to find. It's not because they don't want to pay. It's just hard to get guys to even say yes.
It's really tough, because again, I've done a lot of tournaments and stuff, and it's so tough. Unless you just love competing. If that's like your thing and you love to do it, in my opinion, again, it is tough to go like, hey, I'm going to go fly into this place. I'm betting on myself. I've bought a plane ticket. I'm not getting paid. I might make it to the finals. Like Mike Carpenter goes to finishers. He does a phenomenal job, right? He doesn't walk away with any money. Or, he might walk away with $100, but he spent way more going out there. And it's just so tough as a competitor to I get why guys are saying no because in a lot of ways, now I don't get the local guys. That makes no sense to me. If you're a local dude.
Oh, yeah.
That I'm talking about
if PJ Barch doesn't want to show up for a tournament in Decatur, Alabama. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure, of course you don't.
Yeah.
Or
Jason
John
Rilla,
Battle doesn't want to come
or
down.
whoever.
Okay, of course you don't want to come down.
But when you're 45 minutes away.
But if you're an hour away.
And you compete. Like, you've competed in the past year for tournaments where you're paying.
And let's be real. Here, let me say something. All of that, and you're always talking about how awesome you are or how great your school is or how you'll do this or you'll do this or I would take that. And then you don't want to say yes to a tournament? Lose my number, dude.
Especially when you do it multiple times.
Just lose my number, man.
I'm with you.
You know what I mean? Like,
no respect. I mean, I don't.
I don't want to say no respect.
I'll say no respect.
But that's because you're a terrible person. But you're right.
The truth. Yeah. Well, I mean, it just is, man. I mean, I couldn't imagine a place 30 minutes down the street goes. Now, if they said, "Hey, you want to do a match for $50?" I'd be like, But if there's $2,000 on the line here, just put $100 in. I'd be like, yeah, I'm in.
Dude, yes, of course I'm in. Because I believe I'm going to
win.
We're
at least going to send a representative.
Yeah. Well, look, okay, so real talk. If they need a 170, hey, Brandon, we need a 170. You want to be in? Nah, because I got a guy. Yeah. I'm sending my dog Matt Skaff over there to clean up my scraps.
155. I'm like, I don't want to cut. We're going to send Bradley. We're going to send.
Sure, somebody's going to show up.
Yes, 100%.
We'll be there.
Yes.
We will have a guy.
Yes.
If we got to dig a blue belt out of the closet,
exactly.
we'll send one.
Not just because we want to help you too, though. That's the thing is we want to help you too, and I think that's very important. Is we want to help our community. We want to fill it up with North Alabama guys,
locals,
yeah.
Or Tennessee, Mississippi, Georgia, Alabama, Southeast. Mm-hmm. Florida, we don't count y'all. Y'all ain't really the Southeast. Y'all got Miami and all that stuff. That ain't Southeast. Mm-hmm. I'm just kidding. We'll take Florida too. But not Atlanta. We ain't taking Atlanta. That's like a whole different part of the country.
That's where Sean Applegate is, bro.
Well, no, for real. He's going in. Is it tomorrow or next Tuesday?
No, it's Tuesday. This Tuesday.
Okay, yeah, tomorrow Monday.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's Tuesday.
I have 2 days. Of retardation, I apologize.
No, I missed that. I said tomorrow. Wait.
Yeah, Applegate's opening 10th Planet Atlanta. It's technically not Atlanta, though, is it? Is it like Kennesaw or something like that? Kennesaw. It's right outside of Atlanta. But Atlanta.
It's Atlanta.
Yeah. You probably get there from Atlanta faster than you can get from Atlanta to the other side of Atlanta.
Yeah. That's really true.
Okay, so combat jiu-jitsu. Ben Eddy versus Nick Honstein. That was awesome. What did you think? You didn't like it?
No,
you don't like combat jiu-jitsu.
No, that's not true at all. I love combat jiu-jitsu. I'm a huge hey, look, Wagner's on this show every single time doing combat jiu-jitsu. Sign me. I want to watch Wagner do combat jiu-jitsu.
Well, don't sign me up, but sign me up to watch.
Sign up anybody else but me to go for it. Especially if I can pick guys I don't like to do it. Hey, you mind if I'm Wagner's matchmaker? And I just start picking the dudes. So it's hey, there's a... Anyways, so yeah, I really like combat jiu-jitsu. I thought this one was interesting. It wasn't my favorite combat jiu-jitsu match, but it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
Good.
It was a good match. I didn't think it was exceptional.
I thought it was just such an interesting study about how to stop damage from your back.
It's fascinating. This guy has... Very obvious that Ben Eddy. I've rolled with Ben Eddy. I've met him a couple times. Super cool dude. Super proud of him. Super happy for him.
Yeah.
But Ben, it's very obvious, and I think to everyone in the crowd or anybody that watched, you have zero striking. So I think that's what's fascinating. He legitimately...
No, he has never trained anything
and
except
it's very
jiu-jitsu.
Obvious. And it's so cool that he enters that and just brings his jiu-jitsu.
He's a real gangster. That's a real gangster.
That he can jump guard, though. There's very few guys. His game is one of the only, hey, you've never done striking?
Well, here's what I think is... So I got to tell you this. I'm in this catch wrestling group on Facebook that makes me want to blow my brains out the back of my head.
Okay.
There's like 5,000 people in this group, and probably, no exaggeration, probably 20 people in the whole group have ever grappled in their whole life.
Okay.
The rest of them are like, I don't know if they're like WWE fans.
Okay.
Or they're on
Wrestle with their brother.
They're on that level.
Okay.
But when I say WWE fans, it's like they treat the old catch wrestling masters, which were legit.
Yeah.
But they treat those guys like they follow catch wrestling the way somebody follows pro wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Just zero sense of reality of what combat sports are like.
Okay.
Clearly don't train. And so they're always like, bro, if I was in the guard, I would just isolate a leg and I would fall back on a straight Achilles lock. Or, yeah, of course, jiu-jitsu guys suck. All they can do is pull guard. Try to pull guard in a real match. I hear this every day. I get tagged in some notification in this catch wrestling group. And so, literally, the same day, yesterday morning, before EBI, there was this post. It was the thing of Denny and Nathan. It was a gif of them doing that double guard pull at EBI where they're like scissored, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Right? And yes, that looked ridiculous. Of course it looked ridiculous. They both tried to do it at the same time. I don't know if they could ever do that again in a million years where they both just timed it perfectly and scissor humped each other.
Yeah.
Right? It was excellent. I think Nathan smacked his sack against Denny's leg. But this catch wrestling group posts this gif and they're all like, SMH, like shaking my head and like OMG and oh, good Lord, these jiu-jitsu guys are an embarrassment. If you pulled guard in a real match, imagine if he pulled guard in a real MMA fight. Ignoring the fact that people pull guard in MMA and win all the time.
Yeah.
That same day, Ben Eddy goes out into a match where he has zero striking, zero MMA, zero self-defense jiu-jitsu experience. He has only trained 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. And he walks out there and immediately he jumps to his guard and starts doing this weird 10th Planet-y stuff. And takes zero strikes. I think he might have got slapped one time, jokes off.
Well, no, when he got his guard passed, he was getting slapped. And
yeah, when he got his guard. Yeah, I'm saying his guard.
In his guard is top 10 in the world for sure. I mean, it's amazing. It's again, it's one of those things you watch and go, damn, I never want to end up in that. I
never want that to happen.
Ever, man. When he's going for that Hindula team and stuff, I just watch that and I go,
dude, how awesome is Nick Holstein, though?
No, I'm big.
Because there's
big
zero.
Fan of his. He goes for the twister on him, man. And his truck game looks legit,
yeah,
man.
he almost had it, dude. Nick Holstein's the real deal. What was I going to say? Oh, I like Holstein, too, because you can tell he's got a mean streak a mile wide.
Oh, yeah.
He is there.
And he's got a
chip
on his shoulder. I don't know.
I like it. I like that about him.
I don't know if it's because he's from I don't know about his gym or anything. I just get this sense that he's from a gym.
Like he's got something to prove.
Where people have always looked over him. He's never, I get that. Like that's what his attitude tells me.
Yeah, I feel like, we know something about each other. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like that. Yeah, I feel the same exact way.
And so, I'm a big fan of his. I mean, I think he seems like a real cool dude. I don't know him, obviously. But
Ruben's a black belt up in, I think he's in Ohio. I think he's buddies with John Burroughs. I think that's right. And he says, catch wrestlers are like the hipsters of the grappling community, like the annoying kind. Most of these people have never even had a collegiate wrestling match. It's true. Or a high school wrestling match. I'm telling you. The dudes who post this stuff are always these sloppy, fat.
I've seen some of the posts.
They have never trained, but their kids wrestle in school. And so they're like trying to live vicariously their forgotten and misspent youth through their 9-year-old girl. And they have stuff on their Facebook banner, and they wear T-shirts that say stuff like, "My girl made your boy tap." Stuff like this. Like, oh my God, dude. I literally want to take a baseball bat to these people. Like, maybe not to them personally, but definitely to their cars.
Okay.
I'd like to take a baseball bat to their cars. Hey, I thought Campella did an awesome job commentating on EBI, by the way. I just looked up and saw him.
I'm just not a fan of the EBI commentating. Again, I'm just not a fan.
You hater, you.
I'll say it.
That's a harder job than people think.
No, again, I think it is, but I think EBI is at the stage where it needs like professional commentating.
Not Brandon McCatherines of the world. Not the Brandon McCatherines.
I don't
they
know,
need Joe
man.
Rogan.
No, they don't. Need
I
Joe
would think
Rogan,
I
man.
would love to hear Joe Rogan.
I would love to hear you and Raph. Let's get you and Raph.
Rafa Esparza of the Verbal Tap podcast. I'll tag you.
See, I even said you, Raph. I didn't say me. I said you and Brandon. I would love to see you guys do a EBI qualifier or something, like a test run.
That's a great idea.
And just see what happens and let the people vote. Or let the people, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying anything. Capella, Scott Ross, super nice guys, not saying that.
Ruben says he thinks the commentary is biased. I hear that a lot.
I do too. I think it's biased. I was saying that last night. I was like, you just can't do that as a commentating team, and they do it every time.
Well,
but they train with these guys. I get it. They train with these guys.
Like,
they're super close with these guys.
It's
I get it.
the Eddie Bravo Invitational. Of course it's biased. Of course it is. So, I don't know. Like, is the IBJJF biased towards Gracie Baja? Yeah, it is.
Well, but we're trying to transcend.
I get it. No, I don't disagree.
Because Abu Dhabi is not.
But we're also humans.
Yeah.
So how do you everybody's got biases. You put anybody that knows what they're talking about jiu-jitsu and one of their teammates is out there or somebody that they know is out there, they're going to be biased towards
professionalism.
That guy. Well, what usually happens?
Yeah.
So think about in college football, what's the dude? Kirk Herbstreit. That's the guy I was thinking about. He played at Ohio State, right?
Uh-huh.
But anytime he talks about Ohio State, he talks negatively about them. He goes too far the other direction.
That's what Jason Williams does in basketball.
Yes.
When he talks about Duke or Jay Billis.
They try to downplay.
Yes. They'll be like,
so it's always going to be something like that. And so I try to think about that when I'm doing the commentary. I don't want to Herbstreit it either.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just. Since I know Scott Ross pretty well, I'll pick on him right here. I don't want to Scott Ross it and be biased, but I also don't want to Herbstreit it and be biased the other direction. How do you play it? It's a hard job, man. I do not envy them. Well, yeah, I would love to do it. I say I don't envy them. I don't envy them, but I would love to do that.
Well, it's a very important opportunity. It's a very important job, right?
I think so too.
It's a huge voice
job for the current state of the sport, and also these guys are going to be the future.
And again,
they're guiding the thoughts. Think about how much influence, for instance, Rogan has had on the jiu-jitsu community. A lot of people, and I'm one of them, think that the rise of 10th Planet has been as much of Joe Rogan has been as much a part of that as Eddie Bravo has. Mm-hmm. Just of 10th Planet rising.
Yes.
I don't want to say to the top. I believe right up around the top. We're one of the
top
teams
well-known teams in the world.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe the most well-known team in the world.
Yeah, definitely.
As far as popularity and branding and stuff like that. And Rogan is as much a part of that, maybe more than Eddie is, just because of his involvement with 10th Planet and being a black belt under 10th Planet, having the stage that he's got. And so I think that whoever is going to be doing this job here, they're really doing the same thing for submission grappling for the EBI rule set that Rogan is, or they're playing the same role. Because, when Rogan got into the commentary, he was, the UFC was emerging, right? And so he grew with the sport, but we grew with him. Mm-hmm. So he told us what we thought, what we needed to think about MMA, what we needed to believe about grappling, what the UFC was all about. And now the UFC is a big boy. It's all grown up. It's on Fox. But I was around to watch all of that. Not all of it, but most of it. Mm-hmm. I was around. I was watching it happen. And now I'm seeing the same thing happening to submission grappling. Mm-hmm. Here come all these shows popping up, all these amateur promoters. Here they come. Now you can start getting paid doing submission grappling.
We have guys coming in going, oh yeah, I've seen the EBI Invitational.
That have never trained. Yes, we had a dude come in and just
That's
sign up.
The second or third time that's happened though, where he's like, yeah, I know, I've seen the Eddie Bravo Invitational. Yeah, it's super cool. And I'm like, that's weird.
But it's not. Cool. But it's not because we already saw it happen.
Well, I just mean it's weird. Holy crap!
It feels weird.
No. EBI is one of the coolest things you can watch. Yeah. And I think anybody that's you like sports, you like entertaining sports, you're going to like EBI.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you hear some guy that's like, yeah, I've never trained before, and they go, oh, yeah, I've watched EBI. Man, that's telling you something. But that's what I'm saying, man. It's like, I think when you want your show, it's like this, your podcast. If people start going, man, that Brandon guy sucks. Well, hey, this is legitimately your podcast. Like, but EBI, we're not replacing Eddie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, it's, you know, I mean, I don't know. I think it just needs more, I think it needs a more professional guys that do this more often than just the EBI. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That are doing it, that are commentating at least 10 times a year, practicing their commentating, you know, working on it. It just seems like it's kind of the same mistakes every single time. You know, the same criticisms are there every single time.
Yeah, but you know what, man? People are gonna be critical, no matter if they were perfect. People would be critical. They would, man. Like people criticize Kenny Florian when he was doing Metamoris. You remember? They were like, "Oh, Kenny Florian, dude, Kenny Florian's ultra professional." People criticize Henner when he was commentating Metamoris, and I thought he did great. You know, so I don't know. I think people are gonna criticize even if you do awesome. I'm talking about general.
Well,
I'm not talking about you necessarily.
Yeah.
Although you're a horrible person, but continue.
No, I mean, you know, I do. I'm a hater. So I'm not, I guess I am kind of a hater. And so, I don't know. I just like to see progress. And so whoever's doing it, I just want to see them continually get better at it. And I just don't feel like it's taking that.
The thing that I feel like, there's two things about EBI that I think really need to change as far as production value is concerned. The commentary team, I think most people don't pay that much attention anyway because they're hanging out with their friends watching it.
That's one. I think that's a lot of people. I mean,
you think so?
Oh, I love commentary. I love listening to good commentary.
I listen to the commentary.
That's one of my favorite things about Monday Night Football is John Gruden's doing Monday Night Football, and he's just like,
he knows his stuff.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's there and he's talking. I mean,
the two things that I think have to change, we got to get an accurate clock on the screen for the overtimes for the viewers at home. So Eddie's not watching it at home. So this is not coming into his mind that this is important. This is super important for the viewers at home. That would be like not having the clock up during the 2-minute warning in a football game. Like, what? What are you talking about? We have to see the clock as the viewers at home. So that, I think, has got to change. And, what was the other thing that I was going to say? I just lost what I was going to say. Oh, the audio. There's always an audio problem. 15. We've had 15 of them now. And the audio team continues to make, in my opinion, pretty colossal blunders.
Yeah.
Like to the point where like it takes the attention off of the show and onto the audio is messing up.
Yes.
That is, Stephen, as an audio engineer, a professional audio engineer, I'd like to hear your opinion on this, actually.
Yeah. So, yeah, it can be distracting. I guess being an audio engineer is kind of like, it's my peeve, you know. It's like, oh no, the audio's messing up.
I could feel, I wasn't even watching it with you, and I could feel your blood boiling.
I think the lapel mic dropped into someone's shirt and stayed there for a while, and they just left it on, you know. So it's about responding to the troubleshooting of the live event a little quicker. It has to do with the team and the technicians and behind the scenes stuff. And
definitely, it's a big job, right?
A director, tell him to do it. Yeah, it's a pretty big job. It's pretty complicated. Yeah. It's about reacting quick as possible.
I definitely could not do that job. I do not have the skill set to do that job.
The way TVs...
But people do. People do have that skill set, and there's some stuff going wrong.
The way the television stations do it is they have a director, and he's like the captain of the ship. And the better your director is and the better that team is, the better your television show goes.
So he's the captain of the ship? That's cool.
Yeah. So you're saying we need a new captain then?
Well, on the production side, maybe the director needs to get his head around the issues that keep coming up and fix them.
I wonder if, since they're with Fight Pass, I wonder if it's a different production team or if it's the same. It seems like it's the same production team, right? Because the sound is very consistent. The lighting and stuff is very consistent.
Yeah, it could be.
With since EBI 3,
I would guess
it's all been pretty much the same, I think. I was I was really excited about Boogie's choice of outfit in the corner also.
Stylish.
Boogie dresses so weird. You know, he's like one of my best friends in the whole 10th Planet system. He dresses so crazy. They call themselves the Freaks. That's it. I get it. They're freaks, dude. I love them. Them blue jean shorts, dude, and that hat. I love him so much. He's like the scariest looking dude that he loves Disney World. He goes to Disney World every weekend.
But I would say overall, phenomenal show. I would love to see again. My criticism would be I want to see the 16 best guys in the world. I don't care what associate. If we got 4 10th Planet guys and they deserve to be in there, I want to see 4 10th Planet guys. If it's 3 Henzo guys and 4 Gracie Baja guys and 7, I want to see the best guys in the world in it. First and foremost.
That's not what I want to see.
Okay.
What I want to see is the best representative from the 16 best teams in the world.
Okay.
That's what I want to see.
Okay.
The best teams. Like 10th Planet, Universal 10th Planet, send us your best. Universal DDS or Universal Henzo.
Okay.
Send us your best. I want to see that.
I can see that. That's actually
to me, that's what teams are. You know, because we're going to work together with Oceanside. You know, we're going to work together with Portland. Mm-hmm. And we're going to come together and we're going to
we're not working together with Henzo's. Henzo's is not working together with Marcelo. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, Marcelo,
that actually,
Gracie Baja. That's what I want to see. That, and another thing I would like to see, I don't mind seeing Freako matchups in the first round, like total mismatches for some highlights. Cool with that. In the first round, I really only care about maybe the 8 best guys in the world, the 8 dudes from the best teams. And then give them all a warm-up. I don't know about a warm-up match. It should be a black belt or a good brown belt or whatever. It should be a good dude, but like a dude like at my level maybe in the first round for somebody like
get
Gio.
Highlighted. Yeah,
somebody that can go out there and look. This dude definitely knows jiu-jitsu. He's definitely a good black belt, but Gio just ran him over and added to his highlight reel. I think that would be good for the event. To be honest, with you. I would like to see. That.
It also cuts down on time when it's like that.
Ruben Vera says he'd like to see regional qualifiers like Kakuto, Submania, 10th Planet HQ, New York City finishers. I don't mind that either. I think that's a cool idea.
There's been a lot of talk about that. You know, a lot of people brought that up. Nope, it's not going to happen. So,
well, he tried that with Grappling Industries, and they completely dropped the ball on how they handled it. They didn't even run the same rule set.
Yes, it was
And Eddie
ridiculous.
was like, that's it. If that's the way people are going to do, we ain't going to do them. That was it. It was done. Yeah. And so I doubt he revisits that idea anytime soon.
Yeah. So,
but he could. He's not like a ridiculously closed-minded person or anything. He's pretty open-minded. So if somebody can, give him the reasons why he needs to do it, just is he going to listen? I don't know. Congratulations to Eddie on.
Oh, Eddie's.
He's a mogul, dude.
He's a genius, dude.
He's a mogul. He is a genius. I really think that. I've used that word about him. I really think that. Sometimes he has the stupidest ideas.
But it's still fun to listen to him.
But, man, when he hits on an idea, it is a home run. EBI was a home run idea.
And he just looks
He's got
good
a great
for
vision.
48, man.
I know. I'm so mad at him.
Like, he
I'm
looks
37,
so much better than
and
you.
I look like I'm 106.
Yeah, he looks a lot better than you, man.
I was looking at myself in the mirror today, and I was like, just seeing which places my head creases when I wrinkle my forehead, and I was like, I actually can't find a place where it doesn't crease.
Like, you might be the bulldog.
I'm like a Shar-Pei, not a bulldog. Like all crinkly and ugly.
But phenomenal show. Looking forward to the next one. It's girls, right?
Is the next one girls?
I think it is. Yep.
I'll be honest, that was my least favorite.
I'm not trying to make a face, but man, let's bring back the 70s.
No, I'm not a hater on girls tournaments. I'm not. But like we didn't have that many like high level people in the last one. I didn't think they had a couple. Well, they had a couple.
They had a couple world champions.
I know they had a couple.
Skaff, who was your chick that chick?
Oh,
come on.
No, wait. I thought the chick.
Let's get that respect.
Catherine Shin was amazing, and then the chick that won it,
Lila
Erin,
was awesome.
Lila was great. Yeah, and Erin. What's her last name?
Blanchfield.
Yeah, there you go.
She was amazing.
Yeah, she was.
I loved watching her. Lila threw down. Lila straight threw down.
Bendy legs.
So I ain't hating on girls tournaments. Not what I'm trying to say. I don't know. I feel like it's hard to get 16 G's.
It's hard to do for dudes too, though.
Well, clearly, but they're making it happen now.
Yeah,
in
they
EBI.
are.
There's 16 good dudes in there. Even if we have to. Oh man, we had to replace our number one dude. We had to replace our champion. Yeah, we replace him with another champion. No problem.
Yeah.
It's like we can find. It's hard for girls. The talent pool is just so much smaller. Not because. Careful, ladies. It's not because girls can't be just as good technically as guys at jiu-jitsu. It's just there's way less girls doing jiu-jitsu.
Yes, 100%.
And so
That's
of
the
course
issue.
the talent pool is smaller.
Yeah.
Right? So don't misquote me, all you social justice warriors.
Oh,
10th Planet black belt from Alabama. He's a
Hates
redneck. He hates all women. That's not what I said!
So more importantly, there's a question I got to ask you. Fight coming up.
Okay.
Who you like? Got Frankie Edgar versus T-City.
I like Ortega, man.
I do too,
Ortega
man.
probably right now is my favorite guy to watch in the UFC.
Oh, man.
He's,
That's an awesome fight, man.
Tony Ferguson. Oh, there's a lot of guys I really like.
Tony
I love watching
and,
Tony. Tony is so exciting.
Tony's my favorite. I don't know that.
Ortega, super exciting. I wish Conor McGregor would come back. I love watching Conor McGregor fight.
I want to see
him.
Zabit again. Zabit.
That dude's so good. How is he so good? He looks like a video game.
Yeah, he does.
What's his last name? Namaganov.
It's like 17 letters.
Maga
Mahade.
Namagatov.
That starts with an M.
Magomed
Sharapov.
That is it.
Something like
Magomed
that.
Sharapov.
It's something like that. It is. It's a couple.
Magomed Sharapova.
Something like that. It's something like that.
Annika Sharapova.
But yeah, that fight's coming up. And so I think that's coming up in the next month. So that'll be interesting.
You know what's the fight I'm pretty excited about? Ben Saunders and Alan Juban.
Oh yeah, and that's next weekend, right?
Yep, and I'm going to it. No, it's
The next weekend.
No, it's not this coming, but the next.
Yeah, I was
right.
gonna say.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about that. No, it is this coming. Today is
it
it is
was
this
February,
coming weekend. Yeah. Oh man, I'm going to Orlando this weekend. So yeah, me and
I thought you were doing a seminar with Cole though.
I am.
And
I'm
then
doing
you're-
a seminar on Friday, so I'm driving down.
Gotcha.
I'm doing a seminar on Friday in Titusville, which is Orlando, at Leader Martial Arts. So come on down. Everybody's welcome. That's Friday night at 7. Then Saturday is the UFC. Me, Boogie, Brian Brown, Applegate, bunch of people coming down. We're all going to the UFC together. Then the next day I'm driving back, and Macon is on the way home. So I'm going to stop at Cole's school, and we're doing a joint seminar together at his place on the guard for combat jiu-jitsu.
Oh wow.
So I'm going to show some rubber guard stuff. I don't know what he's doing.
He's pretty qualified.
He's pretty qualified, so hopefully he does most of the talking. So, all right, guys, I got to be honest with you. I got to pee so bad I'm about to kill myself. So that's it for the podcast. Wait, actually, why don't you tell them what you got coming up? I'm going to take a break.
Shoot. I was going to do River City Pro.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. I've got a few seminars actually scheduled, so just got my black belt. I'm hoping to do a few seminars. If you're interested in any type of chokes, specifically guillotines, anacondas, and darces, that's kind of my specialty. Defense, basic movements, that's kind of what I'm looking to do. And so I have a few seminars scheduled. I'm going to be at my man Johnny Buck's April 7th in Asheville. And then I think I'm going to do this 64-man tournament for $8,000 in April. I don't know. I'm looking for, I've never been healthier. I'm looking for any super fights, any, I don't know, just looking for anything. Any type of opportunity you guys want to send my way, hit me up.